Hello, this is Kat, and you might know me from my booktube channel, Kat Stories, but I decided to create another channel. I have been really getting into creative journaling, and I wanted to share that with the online community here. Been very inspired by various different journalers, and I've done journaling behind the scene, and now I feel that I would like to share this with all online. So if you definitely like journaling, you're in the right place. So I decided for my very first video that I was going to do a flip through of an old journal. Actually, it is my oldest journal that I own, and I thought this was fitting because this journal shows where I started and how I progressed in my art and creativity. So I will say that a lot of these spreads were inspired by other people on the YouTube, and I will definitely tell you who I was inspired by. And as I, flip through, I'll talk more about that when we get there. So anyway, well, let's go ahead and get started. So right here is a journal that I actually received as a Christmas gift from my aunt in the year of 2016. And so I used it to start my 2017 journaling. So right here I wrote January 2017 through July of 2017. And so this is actually going to be part one. And if you're interested, you can see part two. But the verse here is, "He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge." Psalm 91:4. So I am a Christian, and that's going to reflect in my spreads. And you're going to see more than just journaling, but also just a little bit of that faith journey too. So anyway, let's go ahead and open her up. Oops. Okay, so as you can see, I have an index. So right here I have 2017 on the cover page that I used with color pencil and marker. So as you can see, I'm not very artistic yet, but it gets better later on. So another thing that was common in the bullet journal community was future log. So that's what I ended up doing. You can tell that this is a lined notebook, so nothing, like no dot grid at this point. This is what I owned, and so this is what I used. And I even numbered the pages to help with the index, but I did color code this, and I didn't have anything fancy but highlighters, and so you see that here. And yeah, so there's the other 6 months there. And then I did a birthday wheel, and I actually found this on Pinterest. I thought it looked pretty cool, but as you can see, I had so many birthdays, and this did not last long. I had little stickers here and there. This is a resolutions page, and they're very vague. I tend to overwhelm myself with how many resolutions I want to do in a year, so that changes again throughout my journal journey. And then I just did quotes on this side, learning how to draw and be, creative. And this is actually a song by Casting Crowns. You Thrive is the song. So you're gonna see also song lyrics in my journal. But yeah, and then my attempt at a flower doodle. So very simple. There's the song verse right there. And then I was very excited about getting Tombow dual brush pens. Not sponsored, but this is essentially what they look like. And so you have your brush this side, and then your felt tip that side. So anyway, I'm sure y'all know that. But I was excited when I received them, and so played around with those. And then we hit my monthlies. And so this idea, I think I got it on Pinterest. I don't remember, but the idea was essentially your cover page was also going to serve as a memories page. And so you did little doodles that reminded you of little things that happened throughout the month. So for instance, New Year, New Me, and this firework that I did essentially was like the new year. Had a little snowflake there. I think we had seen flurries, but we didn't actually have snow. And then I put 70 degrees and a snowman melting by the sun because it's actually, that's actually very warm where we live. So I attempted to do some blending, so you're going to see some extra of those pages. And then I created like my own little calendar. And so a lot of these things you're going to see back to school and inauguration and all that. I am a history teacher, so this was my first year of teaching, and as a history teacher, I did write a lot of like what was happening in the world, and so got to teach that to my students. And so you'll see maybe some more of those like history elements in here. Anyway, more blending. And then this right here is what I found on Pinterest, or maybe it was a YouTuber. I really cannot remember. This is way back in 2017. But essentially you put the date in the middle, and then on this side you put your task list, and so you see work on US lesson, and then on this side you put your appointments, and that's how I did my weeklies for a while. So more blending. And then right here I have my habit tracker and list of habits I wanted to do, and I would color each day in. So there's 1 through 31, and then the lists that I have. I tried to put like what I was reading. So Wild at Heart was the book I was attempting to read, which you could see I did not color in anything. So if you actually see my other channel, I read a lot of books now, but I did not start out that way. So you also see a point system here. So my boyfriend, which is my husband now, his name is Sam, we tried to do a no sugar drinks challenge, in which every day we went without drinking a sugar drink, we would earn a point. And then we got a gym membership, and so each day we went to the gym, we got another point. And so if we had a total of 20 points, we would get a sugar drink. And so this was just to encourage us to watch what we consumed, and try to get us into a workout method. And it worked for us at the time. This is a little prophecy thing that a lady said over me at church, so we'll just cover that up. And then this is a travel plan list, and this list, as you can see, I only went to like 2 places, but I started making lists in my journal. And then you see that I also was attempting to meet an ideal weight goal, and I had quotes, motivational quotes on this side, but it didn't work out, and that's okay. Slowly I started to realize that reaching that ideal weight was not always going to reflect if you had a healthy lifestyle. So it's not just about the number, it's about what you eat and if you're actually healthy. And so you'll see that this doesn't really last as long. But yeah. In addition to my collections, I also wrote sermon notes. And so I took this to church, and I would write notes during service. And at this time I got gel pens, and so you can't really see that very well, but it's like glittery. So I was playing around with different forms of pens and to try to give my journaling a more creative flair. And this is a Cars Savings collection where I had a list of all the issues with my car that I wanted to fix, and I drew this car with like different levels and colored in as I saved. But as you can see, I bought a new car, so I didn't finish filling it out. And that's okay. I definitely tried a lot of collections in this first journal, so it seems like it's all over the place. I was really just trying out what worked for me, and I encourage you to do that. Like, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it definitely helped me find out what type of journaler I was. So, well, with that being said, I did do a movies to see tracker, and so I found this on Pinterest, and this was really cool. It's like a movie reels drawing, and I penciled in the movies that I wanted to see. Some are older, like Pride and Prejudice, and some are like were new that just came out that year, so like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, seeing Hidden Figures. So I colored them in when I saw them, and then I attempted my little doodle there. So there is that. Also, if you noticed down here, I have a page that says 21.196, and with that, I saw it somewhere again. If I know, I'll put it down below, but this was mentioned on a YouTube channel that if you did a collection on a certain page and you ran out of room, you could, whenever you do that collection again, just put the number that newer or part 2 collection is on next to the first one, so that way you can flip to that one. So this is just a quotes page, and then we get into more weeklies. U.S. history, sermon notes. And I know I'm going a little fast with some of these. It's not really much to look at, but I'll try to stop when I see new ones. Like right here is like my first year teacher stats. They don't look that great, but I thought it was interesting to document. Well, more weeklies. This is all crayon, by the way, crayon and marker. Sermon notes, weeklies, sermon notes, and then we hit February. So, like I said, I'm going super fast on the ones that I've already mentioned before, and I'll try to stop on each collection that is new, or just to go through some of the things that you do see with other collections. But this is February, and you see that I wrote 1922. I have 2 sisters who were born in February, and they did a 1922 themed birthday party because one turned 19, the other one turned 22. And as you can see, Kiss the Cook, I love you with all my senses. This was the Valentine's Day spread. Sam made me a steak dinner when we were dating, and he was living with his mom. His parents are split, so at the time he was living with his mom, and he not only made me a steak dinner, but he made her a steak dinner as well. And I thought that was very sweet of him to do. So this right here you see is 80 degrees because we hit 80 degrees in February, which is crazy because this is our winter time. So that was something I needed to document. Here is another calendar, and I started to become very fancy with my doodles, as you can see. Not really, but you know, that's okay. Then we have another habit tracker. And so I started to do more like trying to color in the white space because I wanted to make it very like fun. more weeklies. This was a doodle that I did in church. This song we sung in choir, so I am part of my church's choir, and it's based off of Psalm 3. So I wrote Psalm 3 here, and I drew this, and then I ended up coloring it in when I got home. So there's sermon notes. And then right here, my church was taking a tour in Israel, and so if we wanted to go, we would have to raise money to go on that trip. And so I ended up doing a Israeli flag and colored in whenever I raised that dollar amount. And I even put down the dates where the bigger amount was due, because they did like a plan to where it's like you need this much by this date and this much by this date. And it was cool to see the effect when I colored it all in. So if that's something that you guys might want to look into doing, if you're doing a trip of some sort, consider maybe drawing the flag of the area or something that symbolizes that area, and kind of do like a savings type of tracker for it. So there's more sermon notes, weeklies. And then this is when I started to realize that I was having like blank space a lot, and so I wanted to put like one weekly on one page, one weekly on the other page to save space. Sermon notes. And then now we have March, and March I have a few drawings here. So my family and I took a trip to Alpine, Texas, and I put no trees, like a no tree sign there, because there was actually no trees where we stayed at. So I thought that was pretty funny. Then we went to our local zoo in March, and then we took a trip to Las Cruces in New Mexico, and as well as Big Bend. And so that was a fun trip to take. And then I also documented right here my alma mater, and this was someone that I knew that sadly passed away in March, actually by car accident, and it was really sad, but he would have graduated in the year of 2018. So I wanted to document that to just remember. This is another monthly, and I started coloring in the breaks in a different color. So spring break, it's all colored in. And then I got another habit tracker here, so you can see that there. And I added a few new things. And then I know this doesn't look much, but this is fun to look back on, because this is when I discovered, or rather the journaling community discovered, that there were certain black pens that you could use, or either black paper, and what you could do is use white gel pen to write over them. And so I had some gel pens that weren't white but different colors, and so I was practicing right there in case I wanted to use that in a future spread. This is another sermon note, and then here is actually my first time that I can remember fasting. So I wrote down for me what that would look like, and fasting, it is a part of a Christian's walk. I will say that I'm not very good at it, and I'm just going to be vulnerable right there. So I attempted to do it this year, and I had to write down things to remind myself what I was doing and why I was doing it. And of course, this is like what worked for me, and this is where I was at the time, where I had to do it this way. And so I covered these questions up because these are actually very personal, but at the time I was struggling at the place where I was, at the school that I wasn't sure if that was the school that I needed to be at. And so I was wanting to seek God for answers. So that's what that page was. Weeklies. And then I attempted another fast because my church was doing a fast, and that's what that was there. Then I have more weeklies, and then I got this washi tape at Walmart, and I tab this section because this is a meal planning spread. And the meal planning spread, you would put sticky notes here for the meal plan of the week, sticky note here for your meal prep, and then your shopping list. I also included a wish list in case there were things that I wanted that I couldn't afford, and I would put it there and hopefully save up for those items. So I loved this. This actually was really useful for me. And again, I'll try to link anything that I can remember where I got it from. But yeah, just I was trying new things. More sermon notes. This I got from Pinterest, and I was very happy at what I accomplished. This is books that I have read, and as you can see, for the first part of the year, I've only read 2 books, one being an audio and the other one a physical. So even though it feels like this page wasn't fully used, it still is fun to look back on to see that, you know, where I've come from, which 2 books in like half a year, to where I'm at now. I can easily read like 5 books a month. So, for the most part, right? Okay, so this spread, I am very proud of, and this really kickstarted me trying my hand at drawing. And if I can remember who it is that I got this inspiration from, I will put it down here. But I did use them as a source of inspiration, and even you know, did my own flair, because I did do different colored butterflies instead of like one specific kind of butterfly. So that was kind of my twist on it. But we're getting into themed journaling now. So there's my butterflies and the calendar, and then I put my habit tracker here because, again, saving space. More notes. And then this is a new type of weekly. So this weekly is all about time blocking. And so I put the time, military time, up here. And the idea is to color coordinate what each section means. So my blues, like for sleeping. I remember my reds for things like that I had to go to. So church is in red on a Sunday, but like work is red on the other days. So the other colors, if I remember correctly, are like getting ready for church or getting ready for work. And I think orange was like my attempt to put in like lunch or something. I don't remember, but I tried this form for the month of April. And then my weeklies right here, that's where I put like main events that were happening. More sermon notes. This was a young adult, what's it called? Gathering. So called Fire on the Mountain. So these are also, it's just kind of like other sermon notes. My hand at different types of lettering. Tried to say this was Easter, didn't really write much. I really loved this spread. This was fun to do, and I liked how the numbers looked, even though some of them not that great, but this was a fun spread to do, and I tried to squeeze in the, what's it called, the events down here. This collection is a TV series collection, and I tried to color coordinate each season with the same color. So like the 9th season is in pink, so all of the season 9s are done in pink. But these were some of the things I was interested at the time. This is a Disney spread, and I am actually a big fan of old Disney, like the older princesses and stuff. That's what we grew up on, my family and I, so I wanted to rewatch a lot of these older movies and tried to color in them and see what I thought about them currently as an adult. So here's the continue part. Here's a workout spread that I found on Pinterest. It was to divide your days up by what specific area you wanted to work on. And then I tried to color in the days that I did work out. As you can see, not very successful. That's okay. More notes. These were highlighters. So I liked that they were bright, but that's not really my favorite spread. More notes. Okay, so this one, I believe this I got from Amanda at Amanda Rachley, and she is known in the bullet journal community. So I did use her inspiration. I basically copied a lot of her drawings because I really wanted to get better at drawing. And so I do encourage that, even though it seems like you shouldn't copy another person, as long as you're not taking credit for it and you give them credit, I believe that that's okay. Because you can learn by, you can learn that way, and then eventually you have your own style. And so that's what I did from now to the end of this journal, and actually until the end of the year. And so as the years go on, I started to develop my own type of style. So just wanted to say that there. This was a sunflower theme, as you can see. And then on this side, I did a verse from the song that we sang in choir that really hit home for me. And so it's called Though Your Sins, and it says right here, though your sins be as scarlet, they will be white as snow. That's a very beautiful choir song. This is a layout, a different monthly layout that I did. And then the habit tracker, still same old habit tracker that I've been doing. A weekly. And if I didn't mention before, I also did like my weeklies, copying from what her weeklies were. So this is a when did I last list. I honestly did not fill this out as much as I hoped for. I skipped months, I skipped weeks, tried to keep track of my dog's shots, but I didn't keep up with it. This is another spread with the weekly events, and I do put verses. I try to add quotes or verses that really speak to me in that week. So this was 1 Thessalonians 5:17 through 18. So pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you. So that really spoke to me that week. Lettering, notes, another weekly. This was just, what's it called? Like quotes that I liked. And then this is sermon notes. This was not a very pretty spread, and that is okay. Some weeks you're not going to have the best looking week, and as long as you just pick it up the next week, it's totally fine. That's okay. You move on. And then I believe I actually found this type of layout on Pinterest. So that was May. Now this is June, and she did a constellations theme, and so I tried my hand at that. So I only know like the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper. I'm not really good with my constellations, but this was fun to do. A little tedious, but I was so happy at the end product. Over here is the song Worth It All. And this Sam and I sung as a duet in our church's choir. And so that was going to be for that month. So that's why that one is there. Layout, calendar layout. There's the habit tracker using that new gold gel pen. And then Amanda did an expense tracker in her journal, so I wanted to try that out, but it wasn't sustainable for me. Another layout by Amanda. This is a summer fun list, and there are 50 things I wanted to do in the summer, and I colored it in, but didn't really finish it. This is a summer themes list, and this is on Pinterest. This has the days of the week, Monday through Friday, and they're themed days that you can interpret any way you want. So movie Monday, make something Monday, or tasting Tuesday, or time to read Tuesday, wildlife Wednesday, or wet and wild Wednesday, thoughtful Thursday, or thinking Thursday, Fine Arts Friday, or field trip Friday. So I liked adding themed days to the summer. Another weekly, my small little events list there. And then this is a discovery prompt, so I did some journaling within the book, or within this journal. And I actually found these pages, this 52 weeks of discovery, off of Pinterest. And so they give you a journaling prompt a week. So that's where that came in. Expense tracker continued. Father's Day. Another weekly. Another journaling prompt. Another weekly. This is sermon notes, and then this is when I thought I wanted to be a novelist, so I was brainstorming a book that I was going to write, and I ended up not doing that, and that's okay. This is also an Amanda Rachley inspired spread, and she did like a wave theme, so I copied that. And on this side was the song Heart of Worship, and this was actually one of my first solos that I sang in the choir at my church. And then another monthly, put some monthly goals down here. Another habit tracker, tried to play the guitar, did not even pick up the guitar at all that month. Expense tracker. I think Moana came out this year, so that's why I tried to do like some lyrics on this side, but it did not turn out pretty at all. But we move on. Sermon notes. Another weekly. More notes. I actually drew that. I actually saw this at a friend's house, and I thought it was really pretty, so I tried to draw what they had on their wall. This is a Where I've Been spread, and I copied and pasted a picture off of, online, and I wrote down all the states in it because it was blank. And so Pink is where I've traveled in the year of 2017. And then gray is all my past travels. So as you can see, I'm very much well traveled all down here, and I got to make my way up to this part. So I'm hoping to hit all 50 states before I turn 50. And then I have two pictures here because we're going to Israel later on this year in October. But as you can see, I didn't color this in because this journal actually was finished before we reach October. So you'll see this in the other journal. There's Central America. There's Mexico. Another layout. Finding Dory, I think, came out this year because I wrote a quote from Dory. Expense tracker, sermon notes, another weekly, another journaling prompt. This is a budget tracker that I found online, and as you can see, it's a little different in terms of what the expense tracker was, because these are actually categories that you write down, and then you're supposed to write down like what are some of like your goals. So my savings was there. This was like what I expected to pay for, and I was still living at home, so I didn't really have a lot of expenses. If anything, I tried to help out where I could with like utility there, but I liked the idea of this, but it doesn't stick around. So there are sermon notes. And then we hit August, which is actually the last month in this journal. And this I am so proud of, because had you have told me that I was going to produce something like this at the beginning of the year, I would probably look at you crazy, because I am not very artistic. So when Amanda did this spread, I loved what she did, and I really was skeptical if I couldn't create something as beautiful as that, and I did. I truly believe if you stick with practicing and going for it, even creating mistakes, like this is white out right here, you know, it's a mistake, but it didn't bother me, just putting the white out on and redoing it. But that's what my encouragement is to you, because you will see progress the more you practice and allow yourselves to make those mistakes, because you do learn from them. So this over here is a song that I do love. It's called You Are My All in All. And so that was the song that I really was feeling during this time. This is when I started to play a lot more with my white gel pen that I got, and I really like the look of that. There's the habit tracker again. And then I did a different layout with this expense tracker. But I think this is the last time you'll see the expense tracker, because I was done with it. Here's a to-do list and just events that you could do. So if, I didn't have a lot going on with August. It's the start of the school year for me, so I didn't have a lot of like, this day we do this day we do that. So to-do lists are great for when you don't really have a specific thing for that day. Here is my movies to see continued, and the Emoji Movie Lego Batman came out that year, so I documented seeing that in theaters. This is a doodle prompt that was hosted by Alexandria at Alexandria Plans, and she has her own Instagram. She used to do YouTube, not anymore, but she created prompts for you to doodle a day. And so this is all fruit themed, and I'm very happy with this cantaloupe, and I am very happy with this blending that I was really trying to work on. So I started to gratitude log, so try to gratitude something a day. Did skip some days, that's okay. There is sermon notes. I was really proud of this anchor. But another to-do list. This right here is actually a quick eyeshadow guide, and I was not into makeup at all until around this time, and I felt very intimidated with different eyeshadow looks, and I didn't want to pair it with the wrong thing. So I did a lot of research, Googled online, like what would look good with like a predominantly white dress or pink dress or red dress. And I wrote down what type of eyeshadow you would actually look good and complement it. Obviously now you can wear whatever color you want. It doesn't really matter, but I was just getting into eyeshadow, and so I felt like this was going to be a great and helpful tool to use. Sermon notes, to-dos. This was not with a white gel pen. That's why it looks a little wonky, but that's okay. This was sermon notes. And then I attempted to do a top 3 favorites page, so some songs. Even If by MercyMe and Diamonds by Hawk Nelson. I really liked those 2 songs, but as you can see, I didn't put a 3rd one. Movies that I liked so far that year, did different categories because I couldn't narrow them down, so there's that. And then I saw this on Pinterest, but this was basically like you wrote down all your favorite songs, but you're supposed to do them in different colors, and it's supposed to be kind of like a cascading effect, but I didn't finish it, so it looks a little wonky, and that's okay. Over here are sermon notes. Another to-do list. And then this is another spread that I did for meal prepping ideas, and so these are lunch ideas with the different types of meats and breakfast and snacks, and then a master groceries list, which I found off of Alexandria Plan's YouTube channel. So again, she doesn't post anymore. I don't even think it's up, but if it is, I'll still link it. But should check that out. This really helped me with making grocery lists. I attempted to do a school mornings and weekend routine. Didn't really follow that. Workouts at home. Again, tried to write down ideas. Didn't really follow through with that. Sermon notes. Weekly. Journaling prompt. Evening routine right here. And I didn't even finish it, so. The last few parts, I was just trying to attempt to fill the pages because I could not stand putting away a notebook if there were blank pages. So this is where I really didn't care how it looked as long as the pages were filled. So I did a memories page, and this was when Sam's mother sold her house here and moved to Arkansas, and so he moved in with his dad, so I documented that. Hurricane Harvey happened. School started again for me. I graduated, but the women's group that I was a part of, we finished in that month. And then there was a solar eclipse. This is me reflecting on transitioning to a new bullet journal. So as you can see, I did not want to leave any page blank. Yeah, so, and then my attempt at blending with my Tombow dual brush pens. So yeah, that is part 1 of 2017. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. You got some inspiration. Even check out some of those channels that I've mentioned if this is something that you are interested in. You might already know some of the people that I've mentioned, but in case you didn't, you should check them out. But yeah, if you are interested, part 2 is going to come up very shortly, and I hope to see you in that one. Bye, guys.